All right, it's recording. It's my podcast, Czerwona Kartka. I'm with my kume, szefe, brate, champ, Mr. Igor Pokrajac. How are you, brate?
I'm good. I'm at home, chilling, enjoying with my family. You know, taking care not to get virus and waiting this shit to stop.
Yeah, man. In Austria, Czech Republic, and Greece, from next Monday, they are going down with the, I don't know the names, the
Measures.
restrictions. Yeah, the
They're
restrictions.
going, no, they're going down with measures, but it's only because the economic situation. Because if it goes on and on with measures, it's going to be catastrophic for them, especially for Greece.
Yeah.
Tourism in Greece is jeopardized in Austria also, so they have to get back to work and open towns and everything. We are still here closed with
Yeah, because Croatia, some measures are more crazy than even in Poland.
yeah, we have, but
The
it's
town
a
are
good
closed.
yeah, it's a good thing, but we have because we have the line of coronavirus illness, people are going down and everything is much better than 2 weeks before, but they still not opening anything. Local migrations are stopped, so
Yeah,
you
I know.
can be in your town and that's it. You can't go to the other town. Like,
And
even
what is
I can't visit my sister. She's in some 20 k's from Zagreb, but it's out of town, so I can't even go there.
and what do you? When are your prediction that the border will open and I can come and enjoy my Yadran?
I hope never.
Ah, okay, it's the first joke. No, but what? June?
I don't know. I hope they open in end of May, June because of the tourism, but I don't think so. It just depends the situation of the virus and everything. But I'm not epidemiologist, so I don't know what's going to happen.
All right, bro. A lot of people know you, but I want to go from the beginning of your career. How you get interested by I think first it was not MMA. I'm sure you pretty much you started some kung fu or some other judo shit, but how it happened that you started to be an MMA fighter? But start from the beginning, like even at the age of 10, if you start judo or something.
No, no, and I never. I even start my first connection with martial arts was wrestling when
Yeah,
I joined University of Sports and Science, and
in
on the
Zagreb.
first year, yeah, in Zagreb, on the first year of university, we have one of the classes. It was wrestling, and I started to do wrestling. But before that, I was canoeing on shallow waters.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I had some bad injuries of the back, and they said that I have to stop training because I will never be able to train anything in my life. Nothing. I have to stop immediately because my hip and spine was damaged, and they said, no, you can't do it. Sports, nothing. So I joined wrestling team in college, started winning some tournaments, and I think on the second year, one of the one of the professors that has judo class, he was current coach of Krokop that time.
Okay,
And that time, Krokop was only fighting K1.
okay,
I never met him. I didn't track fighting sports, fighting K1, nothing.
okay. But
But
that was the
but
time,
but,
brate.
but
That was
it was
brate,
it was it
brate.
was it was listen. It was 2000. But my first connection with MMA was 94, 95 when I was in Vienna
Okay,
with my one of my best friends, and I was his wedding best man. It's called Milan, and the other one is the guy that has podcast, Nicola Radin Way.
okay.
when I was in Vienna, because at that time I was going often to Vienna during the weekends having fun. And he said, "Hey man, I have to show you something. It's crazy. It's insane. You're gonna love it." And I said, "What?" And he took the VHS, cassette, put it in the machine, start up, and the first thing that the logo, this logo.
Yes, the old one.
Yeah, the old one, the first one logo
Yeah, yeah,
appeared.
yeah, 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 yeah. And
Yeah,
which UFC it was? What number?
the first one.
The first one. Yeah.
Yeah, the first one. The
Yeah, of
uh,
course, of course.
sumo guy, Gary Goodrich.
The first
One
guy
guy,
got knocked out, and the teeth fucking flies
yeah,
and everything.
and it was when the thing started. I was looking, what the fuck is this? And some, it was looks like some illegal fights.
Yeah.
And that was my first time that I saw MMA and everything. And then I back to Croatia, doing my other shit and everything, training, counting. And then when I start
Wrestling.
university wrestling, blah blah blah, we met that professor who was coaching Pro Cup, and he said it was 2000, and he said, "Hey guys, I need." He came to our club and he said, "I need some heavyweights. A few of you, because you have to help Pro Cup. Pro Cup is having a MMA fight in Japan. Pride organization is doing MMA fighters against versus K1 fighters." It was the first show of Pride versus K1, and we came to help Pro Cup. We were just doing takedowns, takedowns, takedowns. He was doing just sprawl, and maybe a little bit of wrestling, but especially takedowns because he was fighting Fujita.
Okay.
So we were training, and of course he went to that fight with Fujita. He won him by KO with the same thing. He went for his takedown. He threw the knee, and the fight was over. And then I have because I was wrestling the Croatian league here for one
Okay.
club from Croatia, and then I got injured. I broke my arm,
Okay.
uh, and I stopped, coming for the trainings because I had surgery, everything, and it was this my right arm,
Okay.
had, big
Yeah.
scar.
Yeah.
Then I stopped it, and after 2 months, I started training. The only one guy called Branimir Bagaric. He's huge, big guy wrestler. He was still training with Prokop, and he called me. Hey, are you recovered? Can you come for the trainings? Prokop having he said you're a good wrestler. Can you come for training? And he said, yeah, no problem. And I went back for practice, and I from that day I stayed, and getting more obligations in the team. First, I was just wrestling sparring. Then I was holding pads for the legs and hands, doing with him conditioning, physiotherapist, everything. And then my first fight when I went with Pro Cup was I think 2002, something like that. 18. Imagine that, 2002, 18 years ago, huh?
Yeah.
Long time. And from that day till today, I'm on the high level of MMA, and that was his first fight with Vanderlei Silva. And
Yeah.
from that year, I think from 2000 till 2009, I was in his team. I went
Okay.
out.
Okay. Two things.
uh,
I wanna change just the subject because sadly Branko Cikatic a few weeks ago died. Yes,
yeah,
and he was fighting, as I remember, in Pride One and Pride Two, if I'm not wrong. But I think I'm not wrong.
yeah.
Uh,
He fought. I don't know which. I know he fought MMA. He fought with Marquer, and he lost that fight. I don't know which fight the second one, but
One
I,
fighting
I
fight he
remember. I
was.
remember. Yeah, but I remember him winning the first K1 tournament, 93, 94. That's the year that he won the first one that existed. He was one of the first K1 fighters from Croatia winning that tournament, and
Yeah, but
he had
brate, how Branko is important in for the fighters, the history in Croatia? Is he like the legend, the first one, the pioneer?
no, he won. There's a lot of pioneers, but he was first who won K1 tournament. He was everybody have huge respect from guys from Netherlands that is cradle of
Yeah,
K1.
of course.
Everybody knows Netherlands. So everybody love Branko there here. So he's one of the truly legend of K1. Because he was at that time.
And my second question: what was your first against who was your first pro fight in MMA?
My first MMA was 2003, something like that. I think 2003. I was fighting in Rijeka because
Okay.
at that time, when I started training with Krokap, I didn't even have idea that I will become
Yeah.
an MMA fighter. But when I was training with him all the time, it's doing sparrings, blah blah blah. They told me, "Hey, listen, why don't you go with some, try to fight, And then I went for my first fight was in Rijeka. I was fighting a guy from Bosnia called Nick Peric, and I started in the ring, big confidence and didn't scare, and then you know it became real because he hit me so hard with the right, and I just blocked and I took him down, ground and pound, and that was it. I finished the fight in a few minutes. But it was the first one. It was in Rijeka. I remember every of my fights.
Yeah. So if we can jump like this, if you remember all your fights and you got like, I don't remember your record now. I'm sorry, but you got like close to what, 50 pro fights?
40, 42, something like that.
All right. I think the one that the fans will say it's the most your most popular fight, I think, is against Soshinsky.
Yeah,
And for you, what is your favorite fight or your
all
best
of my
moment?
all of my fights. I like them all. Each of them are different on a different way. So because it has beginning and the end of the fight. Because beginning of the fight is when I uh, start with train camp. When train camp goes 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 8 weeks, doesn't matter. Then when I go to a fight week and the after the fight, so all of my fights are different on different ways. So I like them all. I can't
I like the
pick.
story. I like the story you told me one day when we were together. I don't know in where we were together, but I think near the sea, having fun. Um, the fight you lost in UFC against the Brazilian guy who punched you or knee you in the liver, and you told me that was the fight that you had the most pain, and you started.
It was not in liver. He broke my orbital bone
And
and nose.
but you started swearing in Croatian to him. That's what you
Yeah,
told me. Like, hey, jebem ti pizdu
yeah,
mater.
yeah. Because I was going all of my fights. I didn't have luck like some fighters from Brazil and States.
Yeah,
All of my fights, only one fight that I fought here in Europe was against Blahovic,
yeah.
and even that fighter was from Europe, so he didn't have big fight. I was always coming to someone's continent, to someone's country, to someone's hometown.
Yeah.
All my fights in UFC. Only one fight that I fought, that was the last one in Zagreb, and that I fought at home. That's it. But all other ones at the but that one that you said, it was against Cavalcante. It was in Goiânia, hometown of the guy. I was on ready. I was came with the coach. Everything was good.
Who was your coach? Who was your coach?
I know at that time I was with one guy called listen name Zvonimir Boban.
Yeah, right.
He's this he have the same name and surname as the
The Nogomet player.
legendary soccer player from Croatian team from '93 that '94 that no 90 when it was '96
98.
'98. I don't track soccer like you, but I know him. So I went with the guy. We everything was good. Kilos, cuts, preparations, everything went well. I went to the fight, tried to knock him out, get into him, and he throws a knee, and I don't know how he hit me, but I felt like somebody threw a rock into my head, and I took my face and I said, "Motherfucker!" It was such a big pain. And I had broken orbital bone, nose, and they put puffers in my nose, and I had to fly back to fucking Zagreb. I don't know how many hours, with broken nose, swollen head. It was awful.
Yeah.
No.
All right, but so we can go to the future now. You're a fucking great champ of SBC.
Yeah, SBC, the
You
new.
beat you beat Michael Falcao.
Yeah, I bit him back. I thought that it was gonna. I thought the fight will be like this the first time, but reci bej. Rajčica, salata i krastavac. Yeah, my daughter. Come, dođi, da pokažem nešto. Gle, Barba Lubenica.
Barba Lubenica je ovde.
Neće biti Barba. She's shy. She
Yeah.
became a real good girl. So,
Yeah, real good girl. Don't mess with Barba Lubenica.
yeah, hopefully. And where were we?
Yeah.
Where
We
were we?
were we were SBC Michael Falcao.
Yeah. The first fight, he outpowered me on that fight. I couldn't cope with his strength. He just, caught me with one good cross on the beginning, and I couldn't recover. Then on the end, 9 seconds before the end of the first round, he rocked me with the right in the chin, and my legs just cut off. I fell down. I covered my head. The judge stopped the fight. But when we agreed on the fight, they told me when I signed the SBC contract, they told me, okay, who you want to fight? I said, whoever you put in front of me, I'll fight for the title. They said Falcao. I said, no, no problem. But if I won, I'm giving him a rematch. If he wants, he got to give me a rematch. Okay, and he agreed on that. I agree on that. He's true warrior, uh, Michael Falcao. So I got my second chance, revenge. I prepared better. I cut kilos. Everything was good. Drobat Sasha was with me at that time in Novi Sad in SBC, and I won the title and get back on the track. Now, because of the coronavirus, I had scheduled some fights in SBC for the title defense. Now I have to wait the situation to come down and to government to get clearance for the events to can be whole.
Yeah. But yeah, I was watching the fight live and direct because SBC showed it on Facebook, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell me, because the before you're doing this crazy, beautiful spinning back elbow. I think it's the good name, right?
Yeah, spinning
Before
elbow.
brate, before that, for 10 seconds before that spinning back elbow, I was starting to be worrying because you were on the near the
I
fan.
was on the cage. I was on the cage. No,
Yeah, but you
the
were
the thing.
back to him, and he was like starting to punching you hard on the body and shit
I don't
like
know
that.
about it. He was starting punching me behind of the head. I was crazy. I was angry at that time because judge didn't notice him that he's hitting me back of the head. But I tried to find my place for the left elbow, but he just changed the angle and I felt him and just turned with the right one and
That was it.
yeah, that was it.
Because when Mr. Igor Pokrajac is on you, you always win. When you
Yeah,
are on the guy, it's
yeah.
true, man.
I only lost that position and time when I was fighting Blachowicz in Zagreb when I had him on his back. It was like what end of the round, and I couldn't get him back.
Yeah, but when I had Jan in my podcast, he said very nice words about you. He said that after the fight, it was his fight that he had the most stitches, and that you are like a true warrior, blah 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 blah, and all that stuff.
Yeah, we know each other. Way back. I was fighting before he entered in KSW. I just had one fight with Uras, and I took that fight back in Zaire. You don't see nails, huh?
Oh, oh, прекрасно.
You don't see
Oh,
she
super, super.
nails, huh?
Yeah, Mama did it.
No, she did it alone.
Okay.
So I've so I have big wish, and I'm trying to find a way to get back to Polish scene. I want to fight more, and we'll see what will happen in the future.
Yeah, for the moment, like I told you, fan is interesting to give you like a big fight. We talk
Yeah,
about that, but this is more private, so we can just say that.
yeah,
We
we'll
will
see.
see. Yeah, we will see. One of what is the fight that you didn't tell me that maybe you are close to sign because you are the fighter in Croatia who has the most fights in UFC, right?
Yes, I have the most fights in UFC. I have a lot of fights. I never pick the opponents and everything. Everybody knows what I lose or win. My fights are always excited. I always go for the finish. I always give fans what they want. But the fight that I told you, I still can't tell you, and I'm just waiting that
No, no, no.
contract.
But in your history of UFC,
Yeah,
was there a moment that Joe Silva called you? You were close to fight this guy, but for some reason it didn't
I
happen.
know
Maybe,
they be, way back before when I don't know, I had 3 wins in a row.
yeah,
If I have if I had 3 wins in a row now, they probably give me some of top 10, maybe top 5,
yeah,
because now the management is different. At
yeah.
that time, they offered me. He called me, "Hey, you don't want to fight Shogun?" I said, "Fuck yes." No, but then they okay. He don't want to fight me because that time they were no, and it was good thinking. Why he would fight the guy who just coming up? It's for him lose situation. For me, it's like win-win.
Yeah,
If
of
I
course.
win, I win big. If I lose, I lost from the Shogun. And then they offered me Teixeira in 2 weeks, and I said,
Glover, Glover.
yeah, Glover. I said, okay, I'll find Glover, but give me 8 weeks for for training camp. I can't fight within 2 weeks. Can be prepared for Shogun. I will risk, but that time Teixeira was just also upcoming a fighter. So I said yes, but give me 8 weeks to prepare. But they need some fast, because I was always jumping. I was helping Joe Silva a lot because I jumped in some fights when he called me, and then he gave me Magal Hash,
Yeah.
and I'm sorry because it was just I lost on my heart, nothing else. Stupid. I could knock him out, and that's it. I just it's my fault for losing that fight.
All right. Let's talk a little bit about ATT Zagreb.
Yeah,
Um,
ATT baby.
yeah. Um, I will ask you a couple of questions. You just say yes or no, or
Okay,
fuck you. Yes or no, or fuck you.
okay.
I'm more beautiful than you.
No.
Okay, I thought you will say fuck you. That
Mm.
was just the first joke. Anyway, okay. Does Ivan Erslan will become the champ, the light heavyweight champ of KSW?
99% yes.
Will Adriana will fight in the UFC?
I hope so.
Will Croata Barrio fight in KSW?
Yes,
I think yes. If he win against Mr. Patuliak,
but he will win that fight.
he will. He
Uh,
will. He will.
Win that fight. I hope so because he's training hard. He's dedicated to that fight. He's doing something that he'd never done. He now have a team that takes care of him. He's doing nutrition. He's doing conditioning. He has coach for BJJ, wrestling coach, with Dražen Forgac as main coach. So he has everything settled, and he doesn't have to worry about nothing, just to train. And even his wife is pregnant and waiting a baby. He's training every day. Even now with this situation with the virus, he's training every day.
Like
Right.
you are the
And
fighter.
and Elfan is, he's training every day, preparing for first event to come up.
Yeah, Erslan is a monster, but you are a specialist. I'm just a fan. Um, like I said, I know MMA is unpredictable. That's why we like this sport because one shot and everything can change. But
Yeah.
I really don't see how can Vaso win against Barrio. Now I
No,
had I had my little
it's MMA, and one punch can finish everything. Uh, every of those two fighters have their falls, their holes, and each of them can improve something. So only the thing who will improve better in those holes for that fight, he will win.
yeah, but even Brat Lemi Krusic won against Vaso.
Yeah, he won.
And Lemmy is smaller, more less power. Is not a great wrestler like Barrio is.
Yeah,
So like even mathematically, I think
but
Barrio will.
yeah, but that was way back. Uh, Vaso improved. He isn't fighter anymore. He was that time. He has bigger experience than Croata.
Yes.
Besides that, Croata is you know astronomical better wrestler than Vaso, but bigger and that experience in the fights have
Yes.
Vaso. But like I said, who improves his skills? before this fight in the halls, he will win the fight.
Okay, and from the because I was with you hosting FNC one, that was a great moment. We look a little bit like the Beauty and the Beast. Which guy from the young guys for you? And now we are a little bit more like Nostradamus because we don't know because of
Yeah,
course some injury can happen and some shit like that. But if you gotta pick one guy or put thousand
yeah. We
kuna
have
on one guy who will
today.
go.
No, one guy is Kosic, Jakov Kosic.
Yeah, okay, so that's like me. For you, he's the guy who can go the higher, right?
Hi, hi. He has everything. Yeah, Leona is doing some.
Good, good, good. Okay, like me, I said Jakob, but after I will say Johnny. And you?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course, Jakob, Johnny. We have Purket. We have a lot of kids that coming up, going
And
on
we are
training.
and we are forgetting about Luka Curkovic.
Yeah, but Luka Churkovic is more experienced than those guys. I would put him in pro team. Guy who have he's a fighter. He's
Yeah.
not. I wouldn't say upcoming because he's already a fighter, good fighter. He just need good fights, good opponents, and more fights.
And in heavyweight, we got Crazy Donko.
Yeah, Donko the animal, leg breaker, neck breaker, whatever you
R-
want.
r- Yo, on his Instagram, he has like 2 3 movies of wrestling. What the fuck he's doing with those guys, man? This is
He
like
is, you wouldn't say that he's so quick and fast, but when I grapple with him on the floor, he's abnormally strong and fast, and especially on the leg locks, knee bars, and he's excellent.
yeah. So we got a good team. Your plan is to defend the belt in SBC, and like I said, I know that fans are interested. I
I'm trying. I will defend the SBC title. I will fight in Polish scene, and waiting that those measures come down. And I hope that I will can go with my family on the coast, enjoying the sea, get back to work. Everything is connection chain. So everybody is
will,
just
I will,
waiting.
I will, I will come to Tisno and I will drink with you Travarica.
Yeah, and we have lamb on the spike.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay, bro. Hvala for the interview.
yeah.
If you have a little because we talked for 34 minutes. You didn't have any jokes, and you are the funniest guy I know. So now it's your 30 seconds. If you got a message to a Polish MMA fighter, it's right now, brate.
Which one?
Which one you want? I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, fuck. No, I'm calling out Juras who can eat more hamburgers.
Juras.
Juras, yeah.
Okay.
I
Do you
know
have?
he's I know he's a fat fuck, and that he loves to eat, drink and everything because he's like fat. But if he can fight, we can eat.
So you go fight, and then we go eat.
Yeah.
But
I
I go.
I I I'm gonna help him to chew the food because I'm gonna break his chin. So I'll chew for him. I'm gonna chew, spit it, and give it to
No,
him.
I thought that after the fight we all go eat together.
No, just me and him. Just me and him. You on dieta. You
Yeah,
eat
but
broccoli. Yeah, you eat broccoli and some boiled shit. We'll eat some junk food.
all right.
Yeah.
Okay, bro. Stay safe. I see you this summer. I hope so. And yeah, say hello to all the family and take
Yeah,
care.
I'm big hello to all Polish fans in Poland of MMA. Take care, take your families, wash your hands, and take care. See you soon.
Wash your balls and wash your teeth.
Yeah.
Vidimo se, brate.